about to scale 20,000-foot snow-covered peaks. Go native in the world's largest tropical rainforest. Race over thousands of miles of desert coastline, all in a country relatively few have visited. And this is the man to take you there. He's explored this land from the inside out. A country that exists both on the threshold of a dream and at the crossroads of mysterious history. A mix of modern cities and ancient villages existing side by side. And our guide is a native-born Highland Indian whose own life has been an incredible journey. And he's going to take us on a wild, magical, mystical tour that can only be found here. This man is going to take us by foot, boat, plane, and helicopter to places most people never get to see. Because our guide has very special credentials. His name is Alejandro Toledo, and he is the president of Peru. So don't sit back. You can't relax. Because for the next hour, we're taking you on an extraordinary adventure to Peru, the Royal Tour. The geography of Peru is unique in the world. While 70% of the country is rainforest, Peru also has nearly 2,000 miles of Pacific coastline and boasts the second highest mountain range in the world, the Andes. Almost a third of Peru's 24 million people live here, in Lima. And driving past the elegant colonial buildings, this is where I begin my Peruvian adventure. I'm Peter Greenberg, Travel Channel's chief correspondent, and President Toledo has asked me to meet him at the palace. I've met many world leaders before, but this was the first time I had been welcomed with such pomp and circumstance. This was indeed the red carpet treatment. Quite the way to be introduced.
Welcome.
Thank you so much.
It's a pleasure to have you here.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Not a bad arrival. No, not at all. No, not at all. This is quite a room. It is.
Ever since the Spanish conquered the Incan Empire in 1532, there has never been an indigenous Peruvian serving as the country's leader. In 500 years, Alejandro Toledo is the first descendant of the Incas to be elected president. Toledo's success is one of the more amazing stories I've ever heard. Just a few years earlier, on the streets outside the doors of this palace, were some of the largest anti-government demonstrations this country had ever seen. It was Alejandro Toledo who led a massive protest movement. Defying death threats, tanks, and tear gas, Toledo helped force corrupt leader Alberto Fujimori into exile. He then ran for and won his first elective office, the presidency. Alejandro Toledo was born the 8th of 16 children, 7 of whom died before the age of 1. By the time he was 6, he was already working as a shoeshine boy to supplement the family's meager income.
I lived in a shanty town, and there was a couple of Peace Corps volunteers who arrived during 63, 64. They were Joel and Nancy Meister, and I persuaded my mother to give them space to live. And they discovered some aspirations in this crazy kid, and they introduced me to the American education system. I got a scholarship to go to San Francisco, and they helped me, they adopted me.
Toledo was so poor that to raise money for college, he played professional soccer and performed as a street musician on San Francisco's Union Square. But he persevered and earned a PhD from Stanford, where he met his wife Eliane. He then taught at Harvard and worked at the World Bank and the United Nations. So in all of that, was there always the destiny for you to come back home?
I always wanted to come back and to give the rest of my life to my country.
But did you ever realize or think or hope that you would be coming back this way?
I didn't know that I have this capacity, to be honest, to persuade the people, to lead my people. I'm a lucky man to have been placed at a moment in history to lead my country to freedom and democracy.
Now, as president, Toledo has encouraged travelers worldwide to visit Peru. Mr. President, when friends of mine have come to Peru before, they always return saying they had such an emotional reaction to their experience here.
This is a very mystical country. This is a country with enormous cultural diversity. This is a country that has deep roots in the Inca Empire. If you want to touch yourself as a human being, come to Peru.
Our trip is going to be an ambitious one, crisscrossing the country on the fast track, and the president wants to keep most of it a surprise. So what's first up?
I'm not going to tell you, but don't forget to bring your bathing suit and have a sense of adventure.
We're beginning our adventure with a flight on the presidential jet, a specially equipped Boeing 737.
Peter, our first stop is about 400 miles north of Lima, a place called Trujillo. It's a small coastal city that's quite fascinating.
Mr. President, why is it so barren down there? I thought Peru would be all Andes and Amazon.
Our entire coastline is desert. It's because the Andes Mountains block all the rainstorms that originate in the Amazon to the east. Look over here. Below us are the ancient ruins of Chan Chan. It was the largest adobe city in the world, Peter.
Wow, it looks like it goes on for miles.
It does. The Chimú culture that built the city existed at the same time as the Incas. This city is over 1,000 years old. It once housed over 50,000 people.
But for us today, the real excitement happens on the water. Mr. President, it's beautiful down there.
Peter, this is Huanchaco, a traditional fishing village near Trujillo.
Those are some strange-looking boats.
They're coming in from a day of fishing.
Wow, take a look at that surf.
You're about to get a much closer look at it.
What do you mean by that?
You will see.
Okay, go do it.
It was a mob scene on the beach. Word traveled fast that the president was making an unexpected visit, and it seemed that everybody wanted to say hello.
This is historically a place where people for many, many years from the Mochica culture used to fish. They go out early in the morning. It's called caballitos de totora. It's made by hand. They do it in one day.
In one day.
In one day, and then they go in.
Check this out, Mr. President. They're coming in. They're surfing the waves.
Look at. He's surfing. He's showing off. Look at this. Whoa! All right. Pepe! Oh! Very cool. Wow. Dinner. Pescaditos. Pescadito.
Seafood doesn't get much fresher than this. We quickly filleted the fish and added a little lemon. And we had ceviche, a traditional Peruvian dish. It had been quite a day. The president told me I'd be meeting a lot of people like the fishermen of Huanchaco, and I couldn't wait to see what was coming next. The president and I continued our tour on the eastern side of Peru, in the town of Iquitos, one of the gateways to the Amazon. But this was only a quick airport stop. We were on the move again.
A little helicopter ride, huh?
We boarded the Russian-made Mi-17 helicopter, the workhorse of the Peruvian Armed Forces. The president and I continued our tour on the eastern side of Peru, in the town of Iquitos, one of the gateways to the Amazon. But this was only a quick airport stop. We were on the move again.
A little helicopter ride, huh?
We boarded the Russian-made Mi-17 helicopter, the workhorse of the Peruvian Armed Forces.
con acento. Ahora entiendo.
all right.
Right from the start, it was clear that we weren't in the arid desert of Peru's west coast anymore. We were now flying over an unending sea of green, the Amazon rainforest.
Peter, the Amazon is by far the largest rainforest in the world. Over 2.5 million square miles. It covers 2/3 of Peru.
It seems like it goes on forever.
There are those who believe it does. Below us is the granddaddy of all rivers, the Amazon River. The river can be navigated for almost its entire length. It is the lifeblood of the eastern side of the continent. The Amazon is one of the longest rivers in the world. It holds 20% of the world's fresh water. That's why it's vital for us to keep it clean. An environmental policy to us is very important. Okay, let's land.
As we descended into the remote Amazon territory of Yanamono, members of the Yawas community came out to greet us. This was the first time that a helicopter had ever landed here.
Hi, my friend. We are in a small Amazon community that lives out on a reservation, isolated. And they have come to receive us now. But I want you to meet someone very special. The First Lady, my wife, Iliana.
Yeah, very nice to meet you. Thanks for having us out here today.
Nice to welcome you here.
Ilian works with these people. She brings them vaccinations and educational programs. Let's meet them.
Very good. Hi, everybody.
Pedro.
With the First Lady leading the way, we headed for the water. Our boat would take us upriver to the main part of the Yawas village.
You know, the weather's like a Caribbean, a tropical climate. It could rain in a half an hour, and it goes away in 5 minutes.
Yeah, but when it rains,
It rains. Look at that.
But this peaceful boat ride was just a warm-up. The real excitement awaited us on shore.
Okay, up we go. Listo, vamos.
As we stepped off the boat, we were welcomed by the Yawas' own version of a marching band. They guided us to a field where the local women and girls performed a traditional dance.
Muy bien, gracias. ¿Qué pasó con la chiquita?
Poison darts. I'd heard about them, but now I was about to see them up close.
Whoa, all right. This is the weapon that they use for hunting.
So where does the poison come from?
It comes mainly from the trees of this region and also from insects. And it is put right here, and when it impacts, it has the poisonous paralyzes you or the victim. And
I would be the victim?
no,
Okay. No. Can it kill you?
it can kill you.
Good. I'm glad you're holding it.
But it can also save you. This poison curare is used as an anesthetic. The key to making a dart is in the cotton, which gives the dart its stability and balance. But it's his accuracy that makes the dart deadly.
That's great marksmanship. That was cool. What's next?
Oh, we've got a few surprises for you.
Uh-oh. Do you like snakes?
No.
Good.
this is part of the surprise. Oh my God.
But just the beginning.
Those are two big snakes. Oh my goodness. And those are what?
Boas. You want to touch it? After you.
Ah!
You know, Peter, people keep boas in their homes as pets to catch rats. Although the boa constrictor's sharp teeth are frightening, its bite is not venomous. But that doesn't mean that doesn't hurt.
I do that every weekend. So, what does he eat?
Only live animals.
You wanna try it around your neck?
Mr. President, I'm a live animal.
I know, but it wouldn't be a bad idea if you put it around.
And who says so?
I do.
Oh, and you're the president.
I'm the president.
All right, let's try it. Okay.
Try it.
Why do I not like this idea?
Well, you enjoy it. You'll enjoy it.
Yikes! Whoa!
How does it feel?
I'm a live animal. Oh my
Trying to
God!
squeeze you.
But he's not gonna kill you.
I got a little.
What's this? And why are you laughing?
Peter, the constrictor kills by squeezing its prey until it can no longer breathe. Do you feel uncomfortable?
I feel uncomfortable.
It's a friendly one.
Whoa!
Hello.
I'm holding him as hard as he is holding me. Come over here. And you're laughing, aren't you?
Snakes notwithstanding, I actually hated to leave this friendly community of Yawas Indians, but we were on a tight schedule.
Peter, this is the famous town of Belen.
Wow, the whole town's on stilts.
That's because during the height of the rainy season, the Amazon can rise 20 feet or more. This is an aquaculture. The river gives them food and it's their highway.
As we left the Amazon, the president and I arrived back in Iquitos, the town on the edge of the jungle and the hub of activity in the Peruvian Amazon. There are two ways to get around: motorcycle or mototaxi, both air-conditioned. The president and I chose the more dignified ride. Not bad. How many of these are there in Peru?
Oh, thousands. Particularly in the jungle because it's so hot that to be in a car is very uncomfortable.
The open-air mototaxi also allowed the president to meet his public.
Peter, I am worried that you are not getting enough excitement in this trip.
Mr. President, the snakes were enough.
Peter, we are just getting started. Now it's time for a real thrill. We are headed to the sacred valley of the Incas. And by the way, did you bring your helmet?
Helmet? You never said anything about a helmet.
Peter, now we're heading into the highlands, the heart of the ancient Inca Empire. This is the Cusco region. That's the sacred valley down there. Is the breadbasket of this territory. And over there is the Vilcanota River, where guess what? You and I are going to shoot the rapids.
Shoot the rapids? Mr. President, I see a lot of white water down there.
Yes, Peter. Isn't it beautiful?
Oh, look, another band. What a surprise.
Hey, when you're the president of Peru, you get music. First, I want to show you the town of Ollantaytambo. Before I was the president, the first lady and I lived here for a while. So this is something of a homecoming for us.
Hola.
The president told me about this ancient Incan city, still much the same today as it was 500 years ago. The president told me about this ancient Incan city, still much the same today as it was 500 years ago.
Now we're on a side street in the village. What's significant about this?
Well, if you want to look at here, this is the original aqueduct.
And the water's still flowing very
The
fast.
water is still flowing very well. This is an original Inca cornerstone, no concrete between the stones.
No concrete at all.
That's at all. They all fit each angle.
This is a living Inca city after hundreds of years. The Spanish came, but never were able to move the strength of these rocks.
That's the
It's very
granite.
symbolic of the culture.
That's Peruvian society.
The Incas were masters at harnessing nature. That river I was about to run still looked pretty unharnessed. All right, so now I'm getting ready to go rafting, right? Tell me a little bit about the river while I'm getting dressed.
Well, Peter, this is called Vilcanota River. It was the sacred river of the Incas. The Incas used to come over here to swim, to do some rituals, and they navigated the whole river.
So we're going to see some real rapids here
You're
today.
going to have a beautiful time. We are going to have a beautiful time. Well, I want to make sure that you are safe enough.
All right, so now we're going to get in the boat. We're going to get in the boat. Got my paddle. We're ready to go.
Are you ready, Jeff?
Wait a minute, hold on, wait a minute. Where are you going? Aren't you coming in?
No. You're my guest.
Where aren't you going?
Remember, Peter, I am the president. Have a good trip.
That's it.
Enjoy yourself.
Wait a minute. Why are you
Have a
laughing?
good time. No, I'll be waiting for you.
Tell me about all these rapids.
It's beautiful. You'll enjoy it.
Slow forward.
My guide for this trip was Manolo. Manolo had been rafting these waters for over 20 years.
You can see, Peter, some remains of Inca walls because the Incas domesticate this river, make it straight. If you make straight a river which is like a snake, then you get less floods and more land for farming.
They made sure that it would flow up.
Yes, yes, they did.
Hi, Peter.
So far, so good, but I'm worried about what's coming up over there. It was at this point that Manolo gave me his favorite words of wisdom.
Paddle for your life.
Stop it.
Okay.
I was just starting to think that, hey, maybe this was going to be a nice and easy scenic boat ride. But Manolo knew what I didn't. Oh, now we're moving. Now we're moving.
Splash is coming to you.
Yep, here we go. We're getting
Ah,
wet.
la, la.
Hey, guys. Oh, boy. Here we go.
Forward. Come on, work.
Oh! We're not going forwards. We're going backwards.
Dig in. Hard forward. Forward. Punch. Forward.
All right.
On your left.
What was that?
Forward. Paddle for your left.
What's this paddle for my life stuff? Whoa! Oh!
Oh, my friend. Welcome.
As you can see, I'm a little wet.
Oh, that's good. That's part of the fun. How was it?
Help me out here. Oh,
Was it?
it was wild,
Yeah?
and it was wet.
And wet.
All right.
Let's go.
Let's go eat. All right, I'm with you.
All right.
All
All
right.
right. Let's go. A little bit wet, huh? Just a little.
While you were drafting, our hosts have been busy preparing our meal. They cook in a traditional Indian method called pachamanca. First, they heat a stack of stones around the fire. Then, they bury the food in the hot rocks, cover it with dirt, and let it cook for several hours.
Very cool. Let's eat. This is really good.
Es bueno. This is called pisco. It's a typical Peruvian liquor that's made out of grapes. Well, cheers.
Para que no le
You good visit.
viento, para que no
Para que no le dé el viento. A little bit to
No,
the
that's to Mother Earth.
to the Mother Earth. Just a little bit.
If you
Okay,
bless
here we
Mother
go.
Earth,
Now, cheers. L'chaim.
What's next?
I have some good news and some bad news for you.
Okay, what's the good news?
Next place I'm going to take you is one of the most magical spots in Peru, the Inca ruins of Machu Picchu.
That sounds great. So, what's the bad news?
It's on the top of a mountain, and you and I are going up on foot.
So we're walking the exact path the Incas walked 500 years ago.
You are walking in the Inca Trail.
And I'm feeling it too. This is quite a hike.
It is. It is 2,500 meters above sea level.
I'm feeling every one of
But
them.
the Incas used to run through here. Run.
Yeah, that's why they're not with us anymore.
That's right. Are you ready for something extraordinary?
I am.
Let me show you. This is Machu Picchu.
This is an extraordinary place. Thousands of people come every year to see. This is magic.
I mean, I hate to say it, but it does take your breath away.
I know, I am not very objective. I have traveled the world, but this is extraordinary, mystical, the source of strength and force.
And how many times have you come up here?
25 times, but there has not been once that I haven't discovered something new.
What's truly incredible, Mr. President, is how little we still know of this civilization.
That is true.
Machu Picchu is so remote that even the Spanish conquerors never knew it existed. We don't know for certain why the city was built here, but all these mountains surrounding it were considered sacred.
So we're at the center of a very sacred area.
Exactly. This place must have been used for great religious ceremonies. It was abandoned, but no one knows why.
Let me show you something.
All right, let's go.
This, my friend, he's a curandero, a living evidence of a people who, despite the years, have not lost the tradition and the custom.
Excelente, papá, Marcos, papá.
¿Cómo estás?
Hola, papá. Papá. Me toca ver, papá.
Tell me what he's doing.
This is a shaman.
Mira, tatuado, papá. Papá.
These are sacred coca leaves. He's offering the leaves' energy to the mountain gods so they will increase the fertility of the livestock and crops.
Tenemos que ir.
I like the going down part. The going down part.
I enjoy this really each time I come, as I told you. I found something new and inspiring. And whenever I have trouble,
Yeah?
I come over here to take force.
Really?
To recharge.
Are we in trouble today, or are we just having fun?
We're having fun.
Okay.
Let me show you what, for me, is the most special place in all of Machu Picchu.
Does it involve more walking?
Just a little. There is an Inca calendar that I want to show you. This calendar is an early astronomical device called Intihuatana stone. The stones were sacred to the Incas, and the Spanish searched out and destroyed almost all of them. But this is one of the last ones left.
We keep going, we're going to see Intihuatana upstairs. This is the Inca calendar. It's a source of energy, of power, of strength. You and I, we're going to touch it.
Let's do it.
Laying hands on this sacred stone, it was hard not to feel the mystical aura of this.
The Inca calendar is a source of energy, of power, of strength. You and I, we're going to touch it.
Let's do it.
Laying hands on this sacred stone, it was hard not to feel the mystical aura of this great spiritual center. But today, Machu Picchu would also be the center of nature's wrath. At the base of Machu Picchu, there's been a mudslide. Giant boulders have rolled down the mountains and swept entire houses into the river, killing 12.
This is the train line.
The railroad tracks are bent like pretzels, and thousands of travelers are now stranded here.
Lo que vamos a hacer es
The president quickly makes a command decision.
a nuestras hermanas y hermanos.
The royal tour is put on hold while the president oversees evacuation plans and orders the train lines repaired.
I just gave instructions.
Okay.
I'm going to leave 2 helicopters to take the tourists from Aguascalientes to Ollantaytambo.
It has been an emotional day and a reminder of the weight of responsibility that comes with being the leader of a country. From the Sacred Valley, we again boarded the presidential jet, this time to the southern coastal city of Pisco, where, what do you know, a local band was there to welcome us. From there, it was a short hop to the resort town of Paracas.
Peter, today we're going to do something totally different.
Mr. President, haven't you said that same thing to me for the last 4 days?
And I always mean it.
So, Mr. President, I see we're on a dock, there's water, there's a boat here, but I'm a little concerned because the First Lady's wearing a wetsuit and she's carrying a knife. Where are you taking me?
Well, Peter, today I'm going to show you some marine life. Up close and special.
How up close and special?
Get in the boat with me, would you?
All right. Here we go. Okay, let's do it.
It was a beautiful day. The sea was gorgeous. And what's a lethal weapon between friends? But I had come prepared.
Look at this guy. Hey. We got it right there.
Suddenly, President Toledo pointed out something amazing on the nearby shore.
This is called candelabro, and it has been over here for hundreds of years.
Wow. But who made this and why?
No one knows, but there is lots of theories. Some think that it has to do with observing the constellations.
It looks like it was just carved into the sand yesterday. How old is it?
Well, it's pre-Columbian, so it's many hundreds, perhaps over 1,000 years old.
Just sitting there untouched. Incredible.
Vamos.
With that command, we were on the move again. But to where?
Peter, we are now at the island of San Gallan, part of the Paracas National Reserve.
Now I knew with whom I'd be getting up close and special.
Yeah, look, they're all getting ready. Ay, 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 ay.
That was amazing. Look at the big guy. Look at the big guy right there.
Are we gonna get in there?
Yeah, I think we're gonna get in there.
We're gonna jump in there?
I'm gonna gently glide in there.
You're gonna glide.
I'm gonna glide.
Oh, great.
This is cold.
The First Lady also glided in gently.
Peter, it's like being dropped into an aquarium.
I just hope I didn't look like bait.
Just as long as they think I'm a bigger fish.
Peter, look! They feel us. They're totally friendly. They're over us, around us, under us.
Amazing.
The water's not too bad after about, 3 or 4 hours.
Wow, that was cold, but it sure was fun.
All right. How about a hug?
You're red.
Oh my God! I got it wet. I got it,
We did it.
That's good. Really. There are not enough sea lions out there.
You stay there more.
They were waiting for you.
They were. We did okay. They did a good fishing. Do I get a kiss too?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Oh, look at the birds.
¡Hey! ¡Qué hermoso!
That was really cool.
And then I saw something I never expected to see in 80-degree weather. Penguins. Did these guys get off at the wrong stop?
Well, because the water is so cold, there's actually a large colony of penguins that have always lived happily here in the reserve.
Well, you were right. Today has been totally different. So what's next?
Next, I want to show you something spectacular.
Well, in the meantime, this ain't so bad. As we moved on, flying over the southern desert town of Nazca, I looked down to the ground. There, staring back at me, was a giant person. Mr. President, that's the biggest cartoon character I've ever seen. What is it?
Peter, those are the Nazca lines. They are carved in the desert floor below and believed to be about 2,000 years old.
You're kidding. They're huge.
Some are over 1,000 feet across. What's amazing is that they can only be seen from the air, and yet they were made centuries before anyone could fly.
So what was their purpose?
We have only theories. Places of worship, tributes to mountain gods, a landing site for astronauts.
Astronauts?
Astronauts.
No way. Well, whatever their purpose, they're amazing, and so...
Unexpected, Peter?
Speaking of unexpected, look at that line of horses down there.
Peter, look carefully. They're not just beautiful animals. They're different from any horses that you have ever seen. And they're waiting for us.
These are different. Now, it looks to me like these horses are walking in a very unusual way.
They are not trained to walk like that. This breed's gait is natural. The ranchers call it terminal.
I have another surprise for you. Have you ever met this lady?
Yes, I have. You're everywhere. Nice to see
She
you.
really got into this. She knows the culture of these horses.
They are called Caballo Peruano de Paso, and they are a very special mix between Moorish and Andalusian horse, and they came with the Spanish conquest during the 15th century.
And now I suppose you want me to ride one of these.
Well, you know, I know you are very courageous, man. I have learned in these days that you have the courage to try almost anything. Are you ready to try with me?
Do I have a choice?
No. That's it.
I'm looking very caballero.
You're right. Right.
You realize that while I'm getting dressed, all these horses know. They know. See, and you're laughing already. You're already laughing.
No. I think you're going to do a good job, actually. I told you you'll do it.
Yeah, well, I'm almost doing it. We'll put that in.
All right.
Okay. Now, Hopalong Greenberg to you.
I never knew riding a horse would be so easy.
Well, Peter, because of this walk, the Peruvian Paso is the smoothest ridden horse in the world. When you ride a Peruvian Paso, you are traveling with style. That walk makes it look like it is always on parade.
As we stopped to rest, there was, of course, a band. And once again, some seriously strong pisco.
I survived. Thank you, sir. Whoa!
I never knew riding a horse would be so easy.
Well, Peter, because of this walk, the Peruvian Paso is the smoothest ridden horse in the world. When you ride a Peruvian Paso, you are traveling with style. That walk makes it look like it is always on parade.
As we stopped to rest, there was, of course, a band. And once again, some seriously strong pisco.
I survived. Thank you, sir. Whoa! What's in
Es un
this?
buen pisco, dicho sea de paso.
Woo!
Now you can go back.
Are you ready to go back on the horse?
I am the horse now. What are you talking about?
We rode on into the night. And we topped off the evening with a marinera, a flirtatious dance of a lady and her suitor. This traditional dance of the Peruvian coast is one of the most elegant I've seen anywhere. And if you want to know how long it lasted, I think it's still going on.
Peter, look down.
Where are we?
Those are sand dunes.
I didn't know Peru had sand dunes. And what are those little bugs shooting across the sand?
Not bugs, buggies. Want to take a closer look?
Why do I have the feeling I don't have a choice?
Now I'm going to show you the desert in a good way.
In these?
And this.
This is kind of fun. Not bad.
I'm glad you enjoy it. Have you done this before, Peter?
No. Have you?
No, this is the first time, but it's fun.
Oh, now you're telling me. You want to race?
Now, you take off.
What?
You can do it, Peter.
Wait a minute. What are you saying? And while I took a wild ride over hill and dune, President Toledo decided to get behind the wheel of his buggy and kick up some sand.
Oh boy. Hold on. Whoa. What did I have for lunch?
Where does Peter now?
Uh-oh. Now that was fun. So maybe I got a little sand in my mouth. Mr. President, thanks for all the excitement. It was a great day.
What do you mean, Wes? We are not done yet.
You mean there's more? Before I knew it, we were airborne again. This time we were headed north, toward the Andes mountain range. President Toledo had showed me a lot of amazing places in Peru, but he assured me the best was yet to come.
Now we are landing in the town of Anta. We are at an elevation of 9,000 feet.
Holy Toledo, that's a huge mountain.
I will let you get away with that line once, Peter. That's Huascarán. It's the highest peak in Peru, over 22,000 feet.
It looked as though everyone in this tiny town had turned out for a glimpse of the president. And of course, there was the band.
Peter, are you ready for a better look at those mountains?
I hope you're not going to make me climb up there.
No time for that. We're going to fly in this special high-altitude helicopter.
This is an incredible row of mountains.
Peter, there are 22 peaks here higher than 20,000 feet.
Just spectacular.
Peter, now I'm going to take you to the real Peru, the place where travelers do not go. It's a place where I was born. A small village, 14,000 feet high.
This is Cabana. This is Cabana, the small town. That is where I went to school the first 2 years.
This is kind of emotional for you.
It is.
You know, I'm related to just about everybody down there.
And in the election, how many votes did you get there?
100%.
When the president knelt to kiss the ground, I realized how much this visit meant to him. It was an amazing homecoming. Longtime friends and family welcomed the president. I was hoping for a band, and I wasn't disappointed. We were on our way to the local school, built on the very spot where the president's childhood home once stood. As the president told me before the trip began, education made the difference in his rise to the presidency. Now he's dedicated to providing quality schooling to the children of Peru.
Hoy, yo le digo al mundo, y voy a hacer todo lo que está a mi alcance, para que de esta tierra pueda nacer otra vez, de estas niñas o niños, un nuevo presidente del Perú que salga de Ancash.
The rest of our time in the village was a blur of food, faces, dancing with the bulls, for as long as the bull would allow, dancing with each other, more bands, and even soccer.
Hey, bring it on!
Our visit to President Toledo's Andean roots capped off an adventure that had turned out just as the president had promised. Beautiful, exciting, and emotional. But he hadn't mentioned exhausting. One of us seriously needed some rest. The other would go right on running his country. To travel beside Alejandro Toledo, the former shoeshine boy turned president, was an experience I can never forget. I got to see a remarkable country in the most remarkable way. In 5 days, we were able to see so much of what makes Peru unique. The sparkling Pacific fringed by stark desert, the endless green of the Amazon rainforest, and the peerless Andes. We had seen ruins of ancient civilizations and had come to know the living descendants of their cultures. And everywhere we'd been, people had opened their hearts to us. It had truly been a royal tour.